stuff. I'm Stanford Chidge. This is the Chelsea Football Fancast. That is Pablo. This is Dazza. And somewhere lurking in the corner of the studio are the benches. And there we go. Hello, benches. Good to see you. That caught you by surprise. that will be on the Christmas tape, that's for sure. Right, we are kind of in the middle of our Chelsea Fancast season awards. And we've what have we done so far? We've done best and worst moment.
Away game.
Best away
Celery
game.
And Guinness.
Celery and Guinness and chant.
And chant.
And chant of the season. And to come, we have got match of the season, the most disappointing player of the season, the unsung hero of the season, the breakthrough player of the season, the goal of the season, and the player of the season. So there we go. So lots and lots and lots to come, and they're all very, very good. The first of which is the match of the season. Now, we had quite a long list, didn't we, in terms of nominations for this? We had a real bit of a trouble, whittling this down, but in the end, we plumped for these 4 matches, I think.
3 matches.
Oh, well, I've kept one of them in because I'm an idiot.
Unless no one voted for one of them.
No. I should have taken this out when I copied and pasted.
The 3 matches were then Liverpool away.
Yeah, thank you.
Where we beat them 2-0 at the end of April, courtesy of Steve Gerrard's slip. PSG at home in the Champions League after overturning a 3-1 deficit. And Arsenal in Arsene Wenger's 1000th game in charge of Arsenal when we beat them 6-0 at Stamford Bridge.
Fabulous, and I have to confess. There we go. Look at that. We see that again. That was beautiful. There we go. I was sending that to a lot of Arsenal fans, actually, funnily enough, on Sunday. But that is the one I voted for. I thought Chelsea 6, Arsenal 0. I mean, I remember before Mourinho turned up, Arsenal were our bogey side. They would always beat us, and it used to. It used to drive me almost to tears. I remember that cup match. I felt finally we're going to beat them, and they did us 3-1 at home. Remember that? And Boué scored or some horrible.
Lauren scored.
Was it Lauren?
In the FA Cup replay, Lauren scored. He
Terry
went down
goal.
the east side, went across. Was it Terry goal?
Terry goal as well.
Yeah.
So, basically, for me, beating Arsenal, I mean, not just beating them, but absolutely destroying
On that point, I
them.
can't verify this. Apparently, Jon Snow asked Mourinho if he had anything to say about the specialist in failure coming, and Mourinho's response was, "Won FA Cup in 9 years is very good."
Lovely, excellent stuff. But there you go. But I voted for Arsenal, the Arsenal 6-0 drubbing. Although the PSG victory at home was fantastic. There we go. I mean, the players loved that. It was just a great night, proper old European atmosphere. And I think in terms of where we were and the team that we put out and the fact that Liverpool were actually celebrating the title as we arrived, I think doing them 2-0 up there was absolutely hilarious as well. So I think this should be too close to call.
It is close compared to some of the other ones as well. I think it is close.
So what are the results? Oh no! Before we do that, I want to hear what the benches have to say. What are the benches thinking about all of this? Who did you vote for?
Arsenal. Can't remember now.
Can't remember.
So tight.
Arsenal.
Arsenal. Andy says Arsenal.
Yeah.
Oh, you like PSG?
Yeah.
Gaffer?
I voted Arsenal because my mate was going on about how great their football was, and we then spanked them 6-0.
Yeah, that was much my reasoning as well.
Comprehensively. I mean, that was
I really like
proper.
that. Well, I can tell you, the winners are in reverse order. Darren.
Anfield, Chelsea 2, Liverpool 0 to stop Liverpool winning the league, and
21%.
everyone laughing at Steven Gerrard. Not just our supporters, but every supporter of any team apart from Liverpool. That only got 21% though, strangely enough, especially with Mourinho at the end in his celebrations.
Very surprised.
The 2-0 PSG, again, the 3-1 deficit, the fact we had to wait to 80 minutes when Mourinho didn't panic. I think most supporters by that point were panicking, but Jose just sort of kept to his tactics, stuck to his guns, and just thought it's coming, and
don't panic!
Demba Ba goes and scores, and Mourinho runs down there. That got 31%, so Liverpool was 21%, PSG was 31%, so Mr. Chidge.
The winner is, and I'm so delighted because I voted for this too, it is Chelsea beating Arsenal 6-0, a 48%, so significant, there you go. That is the winner of the match of the season, and quite right too. And I have to say, I mean, apart from all of that, I don't think I've laughed so much at a football match, ever.
I vote for that as well for the same reason.
I don't think I've been that drunk after a football match ever. I mean,
I can't remember you being that.
and you need to tell this because it's very rude for me to tell this. How drunk was I, Pablo?
It's very rude for you to tell this for about the 5th time. That's what you meant. Come on, Pablo, continue.
You were about as drunk as you were the last time you asked me to.
Which you had 2 weeks ago.
You didn't do words very well.
I didn't do words very well, exactly. So it was great, and I mean, which basically tells me how much I enjoyed the match, really. So there we go. Right, the next one is this is unbelievable. Most disappointing. Oh, hang on. If you go down here and you go flick on one. No, flick on one. There you go.
I thought you were patronising me there, but you weren't.
I am patronising you. This is the most disappointing player of the season. And actually, for me, the most disappointing thing about this poll and vote is that more people have voted for this one than any of the other blooming votes.
By quite some way.
My most disappointing part is you haven't put the most disappointing player in.
I know, well, we're going to
so
talk
I
about
didn't
that.
vote for this one.
Over twice as many people wanted to vote this than who the Unsung Hero of the season was.
What are you like?
Why do people get off with negativity so much? I don't get this at all.
It's awful, isn't it?
It's truly baffling.
Have we taught you nothing? Have we taught you... Has this been pointless for the last 6 years? Don't answer that. The thing about it is, Pablo, the nominations, I changed. I'll admit this. I think Ramirez absolutely had to be in there for the reasons that I gave in the blog.
didn't
Hang
choose-
on. I think Oscar, I believe, had to be in there for the reasons I gave, because I was disappointed that he hasn't kicked on. Now, what I changed was Luis to Torres.
No, we agreed that you were going to put a fourth one in.
Oh, well, is that where I went wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, then
Who would have won?
do you know what I did? I'll fess up to you now. You know what happened? I left the script here last week.
Yeah, I know you did. You told me. When did you tell me? When did I see you?
Trust on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah, that would have been
So
it. Yeah.
that's what happened.
I didn't even like the thing, and I knew where they were.
But you stalking us, Darren? Again? I've
Well,
told
it's
you
just-
about this.
I thought Mr. Mooring would have had the manners to come round and say hello before the meeting, but he
indeed.
didn't actually, so I was just a bit disappointed.
So I'm sorry about that, but you're right. I mean, I should have actually included Louise in this as well, but I forgot. But I mean, I was adamant that we had to have Torres in because all these boys on the benches, they said he had to
that's
be in.
fine. I wouldn't disagree. And I didn't vote in this one for
Oh,
that
no.
reason. Yeah.
Pablo abstained because of my error. Fair enough.
I
I
actually
abstained
wanted to
because the person I wanted to vote for wasn't
Oh,
there.
there we go. There is that.
I wanted to abstain because I don't really like. I think it's a bit of.
But that's why I've changed it to
category.
most disappointing rather than worst player of the season because I thought that was a bit unfair. I agree with you on that.
I did vote still. I voted for Torres.
Did you?
Yeah, I just think
Yeah.
because, as I said last week, every season we just think. Well, I think anyway. I think he's going to be good this season. I think he's going to score a lot of goals. I think he's going to do well. And every season we seem to get let down. And at Liverpool, it was incredible just how many times he could just create something. The Chelsea game, when they beat us 2-0 at Anfield, it was him that created both his goals. He didn't need other people. Both those goals, it wasn't really the assist, it was what he did. That was important.
Well,
I still think he's no longer disappointing.
No, well,
there's no longer an
fair
I
expectation
get my hopes
for
up
him to
every
become
season.
enough.
And I will do
disappointing.
next season if he stays.
Enough. Well,
Probably
the
not.
nominations were Ramirez, Oscar and Torres. I'd be very interested to know what the benches think about that and who they voted for.
Well, my expectations for Torres is so low, it's not even
exactly.
at no point anymore. I think I voted for Oscar. I just thought he's meant to be Brazil's number 10, Chelsea's number 10. This player would be great under Jose. I know he's played a lot of games recently, but just didn't seem to be quite there at the moment. But hopefully next season he'll be a lot better.
Would you have voted for Louise if he was on the list?
No.
All right. Well, I'm going to. I mean, we must be. We've got lots to go through, but the results are in reverse order. Darren.
In Oscar got last place, just to prove Seth
Well, actually,
doesn't.
in this case, he's probably won because he's the least disappointing.
Yeah, if you're looking at it that way, yeah.
Least most
But
disappointing.
he's the least most disappointing at 15%. I'm sorry.
15% of the votes went to Oscar as the most disappointing player this season. Torres got 27% of the vote. Probably, like Seb says, because people's expectations were about there anyway. So Ramirez got... sorry.
Ramirez is the winner. Ramirez is the most disappointing player of the season at 58%. I think that's absolutely bang on because, I mean, as I said last week in the show, as I said in the blog, where is the Ramirez that scored the best goal of the season 2 years running? What has happened to him? Ross says the tactics don't suit him, but, you know, what do I know? Listen, we've got to move on, OK, because we've got another 4 to go.
Oh, right, fine, that's
Unsung
fine.
Hero of the season, which is a kind of a new award. We kind of like this one. Now, this I really liked, and I can't remember if if this was what we nominated last week on the show. But we've ended up with the nominations as follows. Pt.5 and Demba Ba, for obvious reasons, and or maybe not obvious to most people, I don't know. And the third nominee is Samuel Eto'o. Those were the nominations. Who did you vote for?
I think I voted for Cech. I always liked Eto'o. I actually thinking about it, I suppose it should be Ba, because I think, all right, Cech is technically unsung, we don't have a song for him, but I think everyone appreciates the amount that he does
Did you
for
have
the
a song
team.
for Ba?
No, for Cech.
Oh, for Cech.
But I think everyone appreciates
got
what
his
he
hat
does.
on, hip, hip,
Have you
hip,
ever sung
hooray.
that?
No, he has, but this is one of his Gate 17 songs that he sung.
But so to me though, Cech isn't actually. He's technically unsung, but everyone thinks he's brilliant. Everyone knows how good he is.
And this year in particular, he's got more plaudits than he has done for ages.
Yeah, I
He's
agree.
voted as the best goalie in the Premier League. That's not unsung.
And I would,
Well, I said by our own fans, and I think a lot of them don't appreciate how good he is. They're all very quick to jump in with that arrogant Belgian keeper.
No, but I think when he-
What about Cortez? What about Cortez indeed? You know?
why is
So they all
arrogant?
seem really quick to cut because he's. I'm not coming to sit on the bench. I'm not going to tell you
He's
whether
the
I'm
best
coming or
goalie
not.
in the world.
I might go to Barcelona or Real Madrid. I like Spain. I might stay there. Well, mate, you know what have you done yet at Chelsea?
league.
At Chelsea.
Yeah, I agree with Chidge. Chidge doesn't go in a podding shed and say I should be presenting it. He goes there as a guest. And
Exactly.
the same thing, Courtois needs to know he needs to fight for his place.
Exactly.
He can't just
But
turn
he
up
said
and
he's going
expect
to
to be
fight
in
for
it.
his place.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, but if he
Let's
says
not
that,
have an
if
argument about
he's
this.
not gonna
We got
play-
wars to get through. Reverse order, Darren.
Samuel Eto'o, he got 22%. Demba Ba got 3%
25.
more than that. He got 25%.
Pt.5, who I voted for and is
And
well
I voted
deserved.
for.
There we go. Darren and Chidge know what they're talking about. 53%.
Paul, who did you vote for?
Yeah, who did you vote for, Paul? Or did you
probably
abstain
didn't.
again?
No, I think I probably went for Bar.
Did you do it for
That who it should have been, I was going to say afterwards,
Yeah.
because we do actually.
Fair
Cech
enough.
does get plaudits. Eto'o actually did get plaudits a fair bit. No one really knocked him, but Bar did get knocked and he did score important goals.
Are you happy with that benches? Is that fair enough?
Yes.
Yes.
I went for Eto'o.
You went for Eto'o?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I went for it.
I went for Bar because he's got
Okay.
the two most important goals of the season.
Yep.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Difficult one, that. But I have a bit of a bee in my bonnet about this whole Cech thing, and I really don't think he's. I don't think he's been valued enough, and it's about time it went on record as saying that we think he's the absolute number one. Anyway, breakthrough player of the season, Darren. What have we got nominations-wise?
Right. Andre Schürrle.
Oh, I changed this one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just felt, you know.
Did you sneeze?
Bless you. Who was that?
Did Ross just sneeze?
Is that you, Ross? Goodness me.
What allowed? I thought you were shouting about Andre Schürrle for a second. It sounded a bit German, whatever
Yeah,
that
it
was.
was like
Ross.
Action!
Anyway, the nominees. The nominees were Nemanja Matic, Andre Schürrle. I know why. I think I took Aspie out because I felt that Aspie he's in other categories.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd have easily won hands down.
Yeah, and I just thought,
Willian.
you know, and I thought actually he's been around more than just this season. I thought that was the other reason.
I
So
would
it's
say-
basically Matic, Schürrle, and Willian, wasn't it? Those are the nominees. Yeah.
All the other ones, I literally clicked on it, voted, didn't really have to think much, I just did it. This was the only one I actually had to come back to, and I wasn't really sure who to vote for because I think they've all been very good for us this season. I like them all. I didn't know who to go for. But then I decided Nemanja Matic, in my opinion, wasn't a breakthrough because he went away for 4 years or 3 years.
Well, yeah, but yeah.
Well, to me, if he's progressed over the years, or he suddenly just shot up this season after not doing well last season, I'd have voted for him. Willian, I think since he came, I really liked him, and I like the fact he tracks back and whatnot. But Schürrle, to me, is the one that's to me, he's a bit of a breakthrough because I doubted him. I spent until Christmas time doubting him, not thinking he's any good.
What's the winners
And
then, Darren?
Then I think he's been really good. I voted for Schürrle, but he came last.
Okay.
24% of votes.
It's a
Andre Schürrle.
this is probably the closest of
yeah,
all
I think,
of them so
yeah,
far,
it is,
isn't it?
It is definitely.
So Schürrle's third, 24%.
24%.
Matic,
36%.
second, and that means Willian wins.
Willian wins it with
40%.
4% more than
Yeah, it's
Matic.
close, isn't it?
That's Matic. Schürrle got a quarter. Matic got just over a third. Yeah, Willian got.
Blimey, that was close. Right, now we're into the real, what they call the Blue Ribbon Awards, I think. It's something like that, the really important ones. We've got Goal of the Season and Player of the Season, but first of all, we've got Goal of the Season, and the nominations were the great thing is I actually found the footage of these on YouTube, so I stuck that up on the blog, and it kind of reminds you how good they were.
It's a shame that we couldn't show them on here because
Now
of copyright and
we'd
whatnot.
get locked away in copyright prison, but never mind. Some might say that's a good thing. Now, very, very quickly, because we've only got about 5 minutes on this part. Now, Hazard versus Newcastle, absolutely superb goal. Your Uncle Chidge voted for that one.
That's why every time I see that photo, his face gets closer and bigger.
It does, doesn't it? He's sliding towards us, Pablo, that's why. Right,
Good
Torres. Torres' goal against Bayern Munich, which actually was superb. Torres only managed to score it because he wasn't actually thinking about what he was doing, I suspect, but it was a superb goal. And the other nomination was Eto's goal against Arsenal, which we raved about at the time. Technically superb goal. Doesn't matter how old you are, you never lose it. Ain't that the truth, Darren?
Not in all cases.
Hey! Cheeky monkey. Anyway, very, very quickly.
I don't know. I don't think you played Jimmy Armfield in the Premier League today.
Jimmy Armfield. I love Jimmy Armfield. Top man. Right, goal of the season.
I voted Samuel Eto'o.
Yeah.
What did you vote?
I voted for Eden Hazard.
What did you vote?
Hazard.
Hazard as well.
Benches.
Hazard.
Torres.
Okay, well, no, Torres is a super. They're all
I
super.
loved all three
knows
goals.
why.
I was actually quite torn with this one as well.
Winners are, Darren. Winners are.
Samuel Eto'o came third. He got 18% of the vote. I just love the fact he flicked from one for each other. I would have panicked. He didn't at all. It was a brilliant
Superb
finish.
goal.
The Torres one, it was a fantastic finish and whole build-up. But he took it first time, placed it very well.
Shinned
Torres came second, 20%. So he only got a fifth of the vote. So Samuel Eto'o got 18, Torres got 20% of the vote. So
Which means Eden Hazard's won it hands down, 62%.
That was obviously the second goal. The one to Willian.
Yes, the one. Yes, he came in from the
Because your
left.
clip had all three of the goals.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't think it was a penalty.
No.
So, you know.
He came in through the left. That was that 1-2 with Eto'o that did it. Superb. Right, okay, very, very quickly, because we're now on to the drum roll one. We've only got 3 minutes, but the player of the season. Now, a bit of... this is another one I changed. Originally, on the nominations that we had on the show last week, we nominated John Terry, Gary Cahill and Cesar Azpilicueta because...
Nearly next year.
We voted for... shut up. Anyway, I'll get it right next year. The bottom line is we felt that the defence really deserved all the praise you could muster up this season. And I personally felt that Hazard, whilst he'd been brilliant in some parts of the season, went off the ball a bit in others and just didn't have that level of consistency. However, in the interim, we had the Player of the Season award at Chelsea. And, of course, Hazard won that. And I just kind of felt it would just be rude and churlish not to include him in it. So I included him in it against my better judgment and wonder what happened, Darren.
John Terry, he got 13% of the vote.
I voted for John Terry.
My vote was Gary Cahill.
Yeah, mine too.
You both voted for Cahill. Fair play.
I would have done the official one. I genuinely just did forget. Theirs is harder to vote for than yours. You can't just do it. Well, I couldn't figure out how to do it on my phone. But I'd have voted for Gary Cahill for it, and I think he's brilliant.
When you sell it to Chelsea.
And so Terry got 13%, Cahill got 16%, Azpilicueta got 34% of the votes. So Mr. Chidge.
Well, I mean, I tell you what. Actually, this is interesting because Hazard's won. He got 37% of the vote. But I've been watching this vote, and it's been a real battle royal between Aspie and Hazard for our poll. You know, they've been dead level at times, and the lead swapped. Hazard's just pipped him. And actually what is interesting is that kind of validates what happened at the club, where the Players' Player of the Year was Aspie and the supporters voted for Hazard. I'm disappointed because I felt JT deserved it. You both felt Cahill deserved it. Benches, what do you think? Is that fair? What did you vote for? Are you happy or are you sad?
Very
I
happy.
voted Aspie.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
I voted for Aspie.
Aspie.
Ashby as well.
JT for me, 'cause he's back to his best.
JT for you, Seb?
Hazard.
Yeah, well, we know you love a bit of Hazard, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, though,
Old Frenchy boy over there.
the thing is with this, and quite rightfully, it is very close, 3% between them. But it's weird, less votes. We had 22 less
very
votes
close.
for this. But disappointing player of the season did have the most votes. There's less votes for
Gotta
this.
go for a break. What we should do is we should applaud Eden Hazard, and he is now the proud owner. We will send him a Chelsea FanCast t-shirt. Well done, Eden Hazard, because he is superb and we do love him. I've got no problem with that at all. Let's hope he puts in a bigger shift next year and doesn't get
Let's hope he deserves
we
that
have to
award
go.
next year.
Yeah, we do.
I was
We'll be
gonna
back
say-
in a minute.
Okay, fine.
All right, okay. We will be back after this very, very short break, and Darren can tell you what's on his mind. We'll see you in a sec.